Little House on the Prairie shaped childhoods in the 1970s and 80s, filling living rooms with frontier stories and familiar faces. Decades later, many of those actors are gone or barely recognizable. One stands out for a very different reason. Matthew Labyorteaux, the actor who played Albert Ingalls, has aged in a way no one expected. Now in his 70s, he looks nothing like fans remember, and he is not the only one to what happened to the rest of the cast. Matthew joined the series in the late 1970s, becoming part of the beloved cast through the show's 8th season. His character dealt with dramatic storylines, including addiction struggles and family challenges, and became a fan favorite for his depth and resilience. After Little House wrapped, Matt didn't disappear from the entertainment world. In the 1980s, he continued acting, guest starring on popular series like Night Court and The Love Boat, and appearing in films such as Wes Craven's Deadly Friend. But as he matured, his career shifted in a new direction, surprisingly to voice acting. Beginning in the mid-1990s, he carved out a second act behind the mic, bringing animated characters and video game roles to life. One of his most notable roles in this phase was Jaden Yuki in the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! G's from 2005 to 2008. This role introduced him to a whole new generation of fans, far removed from Walnut Grove, but equally passionate. He even reprised a character in related video games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, delighting longtime fans of the series. Beyond acting, Matthew has been private about his personal life. He married his wife Leslie in July 2020 and is a stepfather over her 2 children while balancing life with his ongoing entertainment work. In the past, he also co-founded the Youth Rescue Fund with his brother Patrick, a charity aimed at helping young people in crisis, as he wants to use his platform for good. Today, fans often remark that Matthew looks remarkable for his age. Even if he is in his late 50s, he still looks young, and many say that he still looks very similar to how he looked on the show decades ago. Many admire how well he has aged, and he continues to be celebrated at conventions, autograph signings, and fan events. So, yes, Albert from Little House on the Prairie looks absolutely stunning in his 50s, but he's not the only one who has Ganito achieve impressive things after the show. The next actor was the heart and soul of the show, but unfortunately passed away. Michael Landon. Michael Landon remains one of television's most enduring figures, beloved for his warmth, work ethic, and creative vision. Best known for portraying Charles Pauls on Little House, Landon was the series' leading man and its creative backbone. Adapted from Laura Ingalls Wilder's classic books, the show ran from 1974 to 1983, and Landon served as the heart of the Ingalls family, but also was executive producer, director, and writer on many episodes. This ensured that the theme of family, faith, and perseverance in the film resonated deeply with viewers. Before Little House made him a household name, Landon had already enjoyed success as Little Joe Cartwright on the long-running Western Bonanza, which aired from 1959 to 1973 SO. He already had a charismatic and reliable presence on television. When Little House concluded, Landon didn't slow down. In 1984, he created, starred in, and guided another meaningful series, Highway to Heaven. In that show, he played Jonathan Smith, a compassionate probationary angel sent to Earth to help people in need. The series ran for 5 seasons through 1989 and continued Landon's pattern of producing uplifting, values-based storytelling music that touched audiences nationwide. Tragically, on April 5, 1991, Landon was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He courageously announced his illness and raised awareness of the devastating disease before passing away on July 1, 1991. The next Little House star was a household name and is still dominating today. Melissa Gilbert. Melissa Gilbert became a household name as Laura Ingalls Wilder on the beloved NBC series Little House, which she played from 1974 to 1983. She was a spirited, courageous daughter of Charles and Caroline Less, and Gilbert's performance endeared her to millions of viewers. Helping define her career from a very young age, Gilbert's post-Little House career wasn't limited to acting. In 2001, she was elected president of the Screen Actors Guild, a major achievement that showed her position as a leader in the industry. She served in that position until 2005, representing actors' interests in Hollywood. She also became an author, publishing her first memoir, Prairie Music Tale, in 2009. In it, she candidly remembered her experiences growing up in the spotlight, her struggles with addiction and self-image, and her journey to self-acceptance. Music later, she released My Prairie cookbook with recipes and memories. And in 2022, she published Back to the Prairie, Aame Remade, a life music discovered, reflecting on her life during the pandemic. In addition to her creative work, Gilbert ventured into politics. She even ran for Congress in Michigan in 2016, though she eventually withdrew because of a spinal injury. She is very involved in advocacy, especially in children's health and welfare. As of 2025, Gilbert remains active and evolving. She returned to television with a guest appearance on Hallmark S-When, Calls the Heart, and continues Toked on stage. Music, including performances in off-Broadway productions like Still. She and her husband, actor Timothy Busfield, live in upstate New York, where she also co-founded a women's lifestyle brand, Modern Prairie, aimed at empowering seasoned women navigating life transitions, Karen Grassle. Karen Grassle became a beloved television presence in the 1970s and early 1980s as Carolina May's On Little House. Her portrayal of the steadfast, compassionate mother and wife anchored the Ingalls family's emotional core across over 180 episodes of the series, earning her widespread recognition. Caroline's role was central to the show's themes, which include resilience, family unity, and pioneer fortitude. This made her performance one of the most memorable aspects of the long-running drama. After Little House ended in 1983, Grassle returned to her theatrical roots and expanded her creative work. She appeared in guest roles on TV shows like The Love Boat and Murder, she wrote, and featured films like Wyatt Earp and My Greatest Teacher. She has remained dedicated to theater through the decades. Music. After relocating to the San Francisco Bay Area, she continued to perform in local and touring productions, including challenging roles in well-known plays such as Driving Miss Daisy. Roles like these allowed her to showcase her skills beyond the Ma Ingalls persona. In 2021, Grassle published a candid memoir, Bright Lights, Prairie Dust, Reflections Off Life, Loss, and Love from Little House Ma. This offered some behind-the-scenes insights into her Lithian and offset, including personal struggles and professional challenges. Alison Arngrim. Another star from the Little House that you can still see today is Alison Margaret Arngrim, who became one of television's most unforgettable antagonists as Nellie Olsen on Little House. She portrayed the spoiled, scheming rival to Laura Ingalls. Her portrayal of Nellie, the mean girl of Walnut Grove, made her a cultural touchstone and helped define the character archetype of the spoiled antagonist in 1970s music TV. Audiences hated Nellie on screen, but the performance was so compelling that it became one of the most memorable parts of the series. After the show ended, Arngrim continued acting, appearing in different television series and movies, such as The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, I Married Wyatt Earp, and Make the U-Tide Gay. She worked hard to go beyond the mean girl character, but off-screen Arngrim also made some meaningful strides. After her Little House co-star and close friend Steve Tracy, Music, who played Nellie's husband, Percal Dalton, died from complications of HIV/AIDS in 1986, she became deeply involved in AIDS awareness and activism. She volunteered with the AIDS Project Los Angeles, worked on it lines, spoke publicly about safer education, and helped raise funds and awareness at events for people living with HIV long before the disease was widely understood. Arngrim also took her personal experiences like surviving childhood sexual abuse music and turned them into fuel for activism. She has been a spokesperson for child protection, working with organizations like Protect to push for legislative action and awareness about abuse prevention. Today, Arngrim lives in Los Angeles with her husband, musician Robert Paul Shunover, and continues to stay busy. She, Music, performs stand-up and storytelling shows, appears at fan conventions, hosts the Alison Arngrim Show podcast, and engages with fans on social media. The next stars were very young while on the show and live fulfilling lives today. Sydney and Lindsay Greenbush. Sydney and Lindsay Greenbush are identical twin sisters that shared the role of Carrie Ingalls on Little House. From age 3, they alternated in portraying the youngest daughter Charles and Caroline Ingalls, bringing a sweet innocence to thief Emily's dynamic. This endeared them to audiences. Interestingly, in the show's opening credits, they were billed together as Lindsay Sydney Greenbush, which has caused a lot of fans to think Carrie was played by a single actor. As adults, their lives took distinct and fulfilling paths: music, outside television. Lindsay earned a degree in accountancy and chose a grounded life away from the spotlight. She was passionate about horses and later worked as a horse trainer. She stayed connected to the Little House community, attending reunions and fan events. Meanwhile, Cindy pursued her love of equestrian sports, competing in professional rodeo as part of the Women's Professional Rodeo Association and becoming involved in breeding and training American quarter horses. Cindy has also explored creative outlets like launching Ade Signer jewelry line and contributed music. Her skills in information technology, originally meant as a minor character, her performance brought Harriet to life with such comic flair music that she became a series regular, appearing in all 9 seasons from 1974 to 1983, which was a contrast of the Ingalls family's wholesome world. MacGregor's ability to blend sharp humor with moments of vulnerability made Harriet one of television's most memorable love-to-hate characters. Before Little House, MacGregor had a long and dedicated acting career in theater, film, and early television. She trained at the University of Denver and Northwestern University and honed her craft on Broadway and in touring productions. She also appeared in TV roles in small films, including an uncredited bit on The Waterfront and guest spots on shows like Ironside and All in the Family. After Little House ended in 1983, MacGregor largely stepped away from screen acting. Although beloved for her on-screen persona, she chose to retire from film and television instead of pursuing further mainstream roles. She felt physically and emotionally tired after the intense work on the series. Instead, she returned to her theatrical roots and devoted herself to local theater work and education. Using her experience to mentor young performers, she became involved with the We Hollywood Vanna Players, a children's acting group connected to the Vanna Society. She didn't appear in the Little House television movies that followed the end of the series because she was on a pilgrimage in India, but remained connected to her castmates. Music, tragically. She passed away on November 13, 2018 at the age of 93 at Motion Picture and Television Fun Retirement Community in California. Jonathan Gilbert. Our next Little House star is mostly out of the public eye. Jonathan J. Gilbert is an American former child actor best known for his role as Willie Olson on the TV series. Willie was a mischievous younger brother of Nellie Olson, and Jonathan is one of only a handful of actors to appear throughout the entire run of the series from 1974 to 1983. His on-screen antics, often causing trouble around Walnut Grove, made Willie a memorable part of the show's comic relief and youthful energy. Although Little House was Jonathan's most prominent acting credit, he also appeared in the 1979 TV movie The Miracle Worker and the Shosrinian films Little House. Look back to yesterday in Little House, The Last Farewell. However, when the series concluded, Gilbert chose to leave acting behind rather than pursue a long-term Hollywood career. In his late teens, Jonathan withdrew from both the entertainment industry and his family's public life. According to his sister Melissa Gilbert's 2009 memoir, Prairie Tale, a memoir, he completely cut himself off from the family after turning 18 and largely disappeared from their lives for many years. Following his departure from acting, Gilbert pursued education and a career outside show business. He reportedly earned an MBA and worked as a stockbroker in New York City, building a successful career in finance far removed from the Hollywood spotlight for a period off time. He also traveled the world and engaged in charitable projects in South America and Africa, showing an interest in experiences beyond the corporate world. In 2024, he reemerged for the Little House 50th anniversary event in Simi Valley, his first major appearance in decades.